Alright guys, welcome to another stream of mine. Pretty late night tonight. Well, late night. It's 11:30 around here. And yeah, it's still not my ordinary schedule where I do U-boats, so I took the freedom to do this one here. This is a game which is fascinating me since quite a long time. And it received another update just recently, a relatively large update, so I decided to dive into it again and share that with you. So, like U-Boat, it's a naval kind of simulation roleplay thingy. And yeah, there are a few parallels to U-Boat. You can assemble offices which have their particular strengths. But at the beginning you just start as a single captain of a small trading vessel. And I think we actually do start with the Barkentine, like that ship that we have here in front of us. And yeah, I would like to share with you to start it from the scratch. Yeah. If you know my streams, you might also know that I'm a big fan of the Age of Sail. Fascinated by the sailing vessels, and yeah, this one here is in the 17th, mid of the 17th century, situated in the Caribbean, of course. A lot of margin for adventures there. So, let's start a new game. And, well, it's generally recommended to, if you don't want to have it too hardcore, start with the French guy. I'm gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for exploration mode, because there are certain missions and challenges which in classic mode would have a time limit, and I hate games with time limits. I just want to quietly play through my adventures without time limit, and in exploration mode I understand you wouldn't have time limits, mainly. Yeah, well, the crew shares I keep, which means that I have to share money, our booty or our earnings. Well, we don't necessarily have to be a pirate, we could also be a trader, and we have to share the revenues with the crew. Saving during naval battle I want to have, I don't want to do it hardcore, and in this case I actually tried it out tactical. If you choose tactical, everything is just so terribly slow, so I would always recommend to do it dynamic. And well, then there is certain specialties. A duelist is a good sword fighter. An accountant is, here, weak in combat skills, but inclined for free exploration, profitable trade, treasure hunting, good in the holds, are protected from rats. Okay, that's one of these special features. But yeah, in principle, there is these abilities here, like power, insight, reaction, authority, talent, endurance, and success. And yeah, there is different rankings there, depending on, like, for example, when you're a duelist, you are very good in reaction, but not as good in HP and luck. Can be an athlete. The athlete is pretty bad in authority, gives you a debuff in leadership and trade skills. And the sharpshooter is pretty bad here in power, so I would like to be an accountant for now, which lets me be a very bad at boarding light weapons, pistols and everything, so I'm not a good fighter like that. And I'm not too well in things like accuracy and stealth skills. But on the other hand, I'm a very good leader, obviously, to my crew, and pretty good in trading. So this is now the configuration that I will go for. This French noble being an accountant. Well, that sounds a bit like, well, how could an accountant be an adventurer in the Mediterranean, in the Caribbean? But yeah, I quite like that loadout. So here we are, weak in combat skills and inclination for free exploration, profitable trade and treasure hunting. And I'm not going along the storyline, but I want to play that game in sandbox. By the way, I'm not quite sure what the loadout is. I am streaming this game for the very first time, so I'm always happy to get feedback about the loadout between my voice sound level and the desktop audio sound level, if it's alright, or maybe if I should tune down the desktop audio a bit. I just can't really judge it while streaming. So let's start it as a sandbox. Yes. Well, Captain, now you look like yourself. How do you feel? Yeah, and how was I before? Like those red-skinned heathens. You were even speaking their language. Damn it, Alonso. What the hell are you talking about? So I'm not quite sure, but this intro into the game implies that we might have been kind of losing our memory or something. So I would just skip through that. So at that point, we could give it, some first insight into sword fighting. Let's just briefly do it. We are not very good in sword fighting, and we will see that right away now. Yeah, you have these two bars there. One is the stamina bar, which you need for hitting and blocking, and the other actually is the health bar. So that was a bad hit that I got. I'm doing not too bad. Oh shit, he hit me in the back. At least I'm doing better than I did before. Okay, now he was victorious, but that's not too surprising. I won't dive into the sword fighting anymore. Actually, to be honest, I did that a little bit in the last half an hour to get back into the mechanics of sword fighting, but yeah. It's pretty natural that I'm losing against that crewmate because my sword fighting skills from choosing that career of an accountant are not perfect. Let me go ashore. So, our ship is out there. It's actually that one there. It's a barkentine. And you see the French colors flying, and we can now have a look at our fleet, if we call it like that. Our fleet is now just one ship, which is called the Quicksilver. whatever this might mean in French. My French is not perfect, I have to admit. And here we see, yeah, the game is a bit awkward. The graphics and everything is maybe not quite up to date, but nevertheless the mechanics of the game are pretty great. Like what information you have here about the fleet. We have that ship, the Quicksilver, being a barkentine, which has certain particular... Yeah, it's a trading ship, it's not a fighting vessel. And yeah, we have information about the crew. It's trained. The morale is low, that's not good. And we can do things to raise the morale. I'm not quite sure what it will cost me. By the way, at the moment we are having 5,000 pesos. And this is pretty great here. Look, there is the hull, which is the maximum structural integrity. This is the maximum number of crew. We have 10 crewmates out of maximum 58. I think you could even have more, but when you have more guys on board, this will dramatically decrease more. And this is what I really love. Look at that. So each of the ships that you have here have this, depending on the rig type, you have this graphics about what's the best type of sailing. And here you see that the best the best way of sailing is beam reach. So when the wind comes from straight port or starboard, we are going the fastest. Well, and yeah, maybe a bit more like coming from above, right? And we also see that against the wind we are pretty bad, like every sailing vessel. So this is actually simulated in the game when you're doing fights against other ships of other types. This is actually heated. So our best point of sailing is when the wind comes from a little bit more abaft than beam reach. Let's keep that in mind. That's our cargo hold. Maximum speed is what the ship would be able to do under perfect conditions, and the actual speed is what the ship could do under the actual wind conditions and my personal sailing skills and crew skills and everything. Yeah, weight loss, yeah. Do you know that game? Have you ever been diving into it a bit? I've been playing it before. I mean, the predecessor I did for a while. Pretty much loved it. Yeah, okay, of course, yeah. What a stupid question. Maneuverability is good. And this is the guns that I have mounted. 3-pounders, 14 3-pounders. And I could actually manage the cannons. Ah, nice, I have 14 of them. And this is something that they changed. So we have this difference. This is the broadsides, and we have the stern chasers and the bow chasers. In total 14 guns. Yeah, deck guns equipped with a turret. So I think this is actually swivel guns. Although we will see later that when we go into the first person view it's not quite implemented graphically, although the ships are beautifully done. Yeah, there is this big update emerging. And yeah, what do you think? Do you think that it will be persistent in a way that we can use old saves? Probably not, right? Yeah, so this is actually pretty great for us sailing nerds. Then here we see the statistics of our main character. Health, energy, vitality is excellent. We are an unknown adventurer, and from there we can go to kind of being well renowned or being infamous. At the moment we have 3 out of 45 points, which separate us from getting to the next level. And whenever you raise to the next level, you can increase one of your skills. So there's personal skills, naval skills, and yeah, the stats generally that we had already been seeing in the very beginning. And here we then can go along these skill trees. Yeah, the different nations, it's France, England, Spain, Holland, and there are pirates and Indians and smugglers as additional factions. And at the moment we are neutral with all the countries, also with the smugglers, and yeah, the Indians obviously dislike us, and the pirates, not quite sure what that means. That's the Caribbean. Where are we? We are in the settlement of Basse-Terre on the island of Guadeloupe. That must be somewhere here. Ah yeah, here. Guadeloupe. Basse-Terre. It's a French settlement. So, well, what about the fleet? We can see the cargo hold. We have 50 round shots, 50 grape shots, 50 chain shots, and I pretty much love that they make that difference. Food, gunpowder. So whenever you fire a shot, you need a certain amount of gunpowder. Then you need weapons for boarding. You need sufficient weapons for your crew, medicine, rum, of course. And well, here we have it kind of a little bit more detailed, which means that the amount of rounds that we have is good for 10 salvos. The grape shot is good for 10 salvos, and the chain shot is good for 10 salvos, and the gunpowder that we have is good for 30 salvos, which is not much actually. The weapons are surplus, which is good and necessary for being successful in boarding. Food will last for 150 days, the rum for 100 days, the medicines for 50 days. We have no spare guns. We have no spare planks to repair the ship and no spare sailcloth to repair the rigging. So, this game was really made by aficionados, by guys who really know what they are talking about. Particularly this one here. This is what I love, that you really have this influence and very, very detailed different speeds depending on your point of sailing. Yeah, so that looks like something like Broad Reach would be the best point of sailing for this ship. Well, like for the most ones actually. But if you would have a purely fore and aft ship, it would probably be better close hauled than this one. So here we are in the settlement of Basse-Terre, French settlement on the Isle of Guadeloupe. And now we can that's a guard, is he? Ah, no. Good way, I just wanted to talk to you. If you enjoy talking, find someone else. Yep. So we need to get a job right now, and maybe we need a few more sailors. So let's get to the tavern. Hey Nico, nice to have you in. How are you doing? You see that I'm doing something completely new. Well, actually, streaming wise it's new. Offline I had been doing this one already.
The sea is my home, and that's all there is to it.
Ah, he's a seasoned sea wolf, he says. Would you like to join my crew? That's kind of an officer. No. I'm just surprised. I think previous to the update you could get some information.
Pour it on.
So I would have to buy that guy.
After a dangerous voyage, there's nothing better than a good old welcoming shore.
What are you about?
Keep it down, pal.
I want to buy or sell goods. So what can I
Succulent
discuss?
food, refreshing beverages, and cozy
With the
bed at your service.
innkeeper? Ah, yeah, okay, so it rings a bell, obviously. It's Caribbean Legends, exactly, yep. I need a crew. So, how many guys can I get here? No one will follow a captain with low charisma at sea. On the contrary, high charisma... Yeah, okay. So looks like nobody's gonna hire with me. There is no one who wants to hire with me. Yeah, I have been playing the game for a while, but that's quite some time ago. So, I have to really remember the concepts, and there was quite some changes with the latest update. Nobody wants to hire with me, yes.
So, whose street is it today?
Эй, детка, налей-ка еще и далеко не уходи.
Ah, this guy is an officer, and here I can see what he's good at. What kind of specialist is he? Yeah, at the moment I just can't afford any officer. But yeah, he would be a carpenter and a bosun.
Everything here is fair and square. The lucky man wins.
Nope, not gonna play a game of cards.
Налей-ка еще и далеко не уходи.
Yeah, these are officers, but at the moment I just can't afford to hire officers. What I need is crew.
Hey, what do you say? Try your fate? So, whose street is it today?
So here I am, let's give it a save. How do the save mechanisms work? Yeah, let's give it a save. So, no crew for me here. Oh, what do we have there? Chest and something? No, it's just cosmetics. So let's get outside. So guy, what are you
There
up
are
to?
almost not true noble left anymore.
Okay, this guy, Mr. Grégoire Sanchez, wants to ask me something. He needs to get to the colony of Port Royal as soon as possible. It's on Jamaica, 9 days. Yeah, that would be a good job, but this is the problem of the game, that I never know if I could actually enter the port of Port Royal. So I do have an offline map where I hope that I could find out. So where do we have Port Royal? Here on my map, and I need to know whether or not there it is. What's the nationality? Okay, according to this map that I have here, Port Royal is English. And now the question is, could I enter English ports? Are we at war at the moment, the French and the English? Okay, I'm gonna take that guy aboard, but now I really have to check whether that was a mistake or not. Like the nations. So at the moment it looks like France is only at war with the Spanish, so that would should allow me to enter British ports. Or English ports. Yeah, so maybe that was a good decision, but as I'm not very sure. Journal entry. Okay, I got that save anyway. So, We have our first customer, which means we can cast off. And well, let's check it on the map. It's Basse-Terre where we are. The nice thing, what I pretty much like about this game, is that you don't see your position on the map. So from Basse-Terre we have to go more or less due west to reach Port Royal. So let's do that and earn our first bucks. By the way, now question is whether or not I do have sufficient food. The moral is low. What do I have to do to raise the moral? Yeah, okay. Having some elevated moral, that should be alright. What is it now that my crew has a better moral? Does it mean that I might hire some crew?
Succulent food, refreshing beverages, and cozy bed at your service.
Nope, doesn't make a difference. I still don't want to join our crew. So what would be the supplies? It's sufficient for 70 days. That should be more than we need. Question is whether I would like to have some planks and sailcloth. But yeah, come on, we just have to do that trip without getting into any trouble. So here we are, and now okay, I thought I should see that guy on board. Within 9 days. Okay. I think I remember that in the past you would see that guy being on board here then. Ah, passengers. Alright, here we have that guy as a passenger. So that game is pretty consistent with that. So here we have that passenger of Monsieur Sarchet, if this is pronounced correctly. So all my French listeners, please excuse me being that bad. In French pronunciation. So down there, bottom right, you see that I just set sail. Not half, but now full sail. And yeah, the wind is not pretty favorable to get out of the bay, right? Look at that. But I'm gonna fall, well, get a little bit more close hold to the wind. So that's so beautiful. Look at that. I mean, it's not 100% consistent because I think the guns that we have are actually swivel guns, but well, come on, however. Like these. Don't quite see my stern chasers, although we have them, but you definitely see the bow chasers. Yeah, you probably could. These swivel guns could be my stern chasers, however. So, pretty much love this kind of view here. And now...
You're flying after it first. You snapped the mainmast line, Taylor. You realize that could have sunk us?
What about my character? Well, the items here I do have in terms of equipment. The spyglass. Let's equip the spyglass and then we can actually do this. Apolacra. Okay, interesting. And a brigantine. What is my ship? My ship is a barkentine, isn't it?
Don't doze off. Watch things over yet.
Yes, it's a barkentine. So it's one shipwrecked mast afore and two fore and aft masks behind. Looks like the periscope, yep. A bit like. So, quite a few parallels, I would say. So what is this guy? A Quebec, but what is its nationality? It's French. Alright. So now, what can we do? Sail to, map. So give me the world map, please. Let's slow it down for now. Okay, so I have to understand that. Why am I not moving at all? Time is passing. Okay. Not gonna engage these guys. So let's go more or less due west. And see that we reach Port Royal. Can we zoom in and out? Yes, here we are. And yeah, now we are at Beam Reach. Perfect point of sailing. What's our speed at the moment? Not quite sure. 15 knots? I don't know. So there we are reaching. I'm gonna slow down the time acceleration. Can we save the game here? So let's give it the save here on the, yeah, it's Jamaica at sea. Just in case that we might fuck it up. So here we are. What do I need to do to enter port? well, my hope was that I could get close to the port already here. Without doing the tedious sailing in detail. But, well, we just have to get a little bit closer to Port Royal and then we are going to be able to. Disembark there. Only problem is that at the moment the direction of the wind is not pretty favorable, so I'm gonna increase the time acceleration a bit. And now we have to tack. It's October 4th, so it was something like 4 days. I think we started the game on October 1st. So we are well in time to get that guy to where he wants to be. And now tack again. That should be alright. By now we could anchor. Yeah, let's moor. Nice.
At last, a worthy colorist.
Okay, here we are. Most excellent. Traveling on your ship was quite satisfying. You have a disciplined crew and a clean deck. My thanks. Take your money. So that was 3,000 and something. Nice. Honor increased, experience gained. In terms of sailing and also in terms of, well, whatever the other thing is. So let's give it a save. Port Royal streets. Here we are. And at that point I need to be AFK briefly. Be back in a second. Okay. Our first earned money. And of course we are far away from doing some kind of piracy or going into fights or something. But if we can make a living with that, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, by the way, the community, the Twitch community around this game is really tiny. Which, yeah, makes me wonder why, because I thought there should be quite a few sailing nerds, Age of Sail nerds like me, like us. So here we are. And now. So 8,000 pesos, so that was, we started with 5,000, so that was almost 3,000 pesos. Now we could take a look. Our ship upkeep per month, right? So we already earned twice the ship upkeep that we would need. Yeah, right? I would also have expected that it would be bigger. But it's, yeah. Yeah, but maybe it's kind of spread, because there is this one here is the newest version of the game and there are older ones. So it might be that there is also a lot of people in the other older versions of the game. I think they're all kind of little communities. So we earned money. And maybe now we can take a little look around.
It's our responsibility to be on guard.
Okay, a guard. Are you going to tell me about some suspicious activity? No, none at all. And I'm a captain, by the way. I see you're not listening anymore. Bye. Okay, whatever that means. Here we get, now we started with a 4 points, and now we have 11 points. All right. So this brings us forward. But we are still an unknown adventurer. Yeah, progress should be fairly slow in the game. That's actually the problem in U-Boat, right? That the progress of the officers is a bit too fast, so that after something like 2 years, you have them maxed out. Shipyard. Tavern, let's see if we can hire sailors here.
We're always happy to serve our customers here, especially the ones who aren't stingy with the tips.
I know the crew. Yeah, let's hire these guys, and this will also increase my running costs, but I think I would like to have a few more sailors. Oh, you have bad connection at the moment. Okay, but now the crew is only rookies, so these guys were rookies that we did hire. That actually pulled down the experience. Ship upkeep now is 2,000. So let's see if we can get a new job out there. Give it a new save. Override, yep. What's the time? It's early morning, okay. 4th of October. So let's see, do I find somebody whom I could show me what you've got. A healing potion, of course, would be good to have. Now I have 3 healing potions. Let's get 2 more.
Any products for any taste.
Yeah, of course it would be good to have a cutlass maybe instead of... I think I'm good with medium. Let's see. With medium... reaction. Lightweight, I'm good with... Well, good is maybe too much, but I'm least bad with medium weapons. And at the moment, what do I have? The machete is a medium weapon. So maybe I'm just fine with that. But I would be curious what a cutlass would be. Also medium. Yeah, I guess the cutlass would be better, but yeah, I need to take care that I don't have.
I'm happy with everything here. How about you?
Okay, he wants to have get a favor from us. I am listening, sir. Saint-Pierre. I'm pretty sure that Saint-Pierre is French, isn't it? It sounds French, at least. On Martinique. I think it would be a good idea to do that. Let me briefly check on my offline map. Saint-Pierre, Martinique. It's French, yeah. It should be French. And it would be east, but east-southeast, roughly. Yeah, nice. I think I should do that. Yeah, I'm heading this way as well, so I'm ready to take your board. Go to my ship. We are leaving soon. Alright. By the way, let's take a look. What logbook entries do I get? Days, yeah, that should be easy. So I wonder if there is any... It's PM. It's 8 o'clock PM, so it's gonna get dark soon. Yeah, having that job, come on, let's cast off. Let's cast off, that's just fine. So full sails. And yeah, we have a fairly okayish point of sailing. Beam reach like that. Ah no, it's not beam reach, it's broad reach. Yep. Not so familiar with these terms anymore, since it's quite some time ago that I read my O'Brien in English. Okay, we can't sail to the map yet. Yeah, you're right. The name gives it. But you never know. I mean, San Francisco is not Spanish, actually. And San Diego not as well. But I think back then the name was a good hint, yep. Yeah, I would have to get a little bit more to running reach, which is gonna slow me down a bit, but not too bad, so that I get clear of this rock on port side. I think by now I could finally go for the map. Yeah. So a bit more southerly than east. Fingers crossed that we don't run into bad company. I love the game. That's so beautiful. Experience gained in sailing, yep. Yeah. And it kind of feels pretty close to U-boat. I don't know if you guys would say the same, but to me, this game is really kind of a soulmate to U-boat. Saint-Pierre. Approaching Saint-Pierre. It does, yeah. So here we are, we could moor like that. And there we are, getting another 2 and something, 2,300 bucks, I think it was.
Land has become very valuable in our day and age.
Okay, so the guy was pretty happy with the transfer. Ports, attacks, orders. Almost 9,000 pesos I own. I love this open world approach. Yeah. Yep. What time is it? Early morning. 6:15 in the morning. Yeah, at the moment I'm pretty alright with this crew of 15. What do I have to pay for training the crew? Yeah, it takes a bit of not enough goods. Let's get to a merchant and get some planks and sailcloth. What are you? I don't know. The bank. Where do I have a trader? That's the tavern. Shipbuilder. Magazine. Okay, maybe.
All right, let's haggle a little bit.
Yeah, let's do. Give me a look at your wares. So I would like to buy a few sailcloths. And a few planks. Thank you very much. And with that, could I give the crew some training? Train crew. Some weapons, some round shots, some gunpowder, some planks, and some sailcloth. Yeah, perfectly fine. So this makes them seasoned. Alright. So you guy. Let's go to save.
Hell of a vessel, ain't it?
A few hours, yeah. Now tell me your business proposal. Okay. What is the guy up to? Yeah, curious what the job is. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. My gut feeling is that this is a feature that we didn't have in the past. So, guy, What are you up to? Let's just hope that we're not following a bug at the moment. So guys,
I'm happy with everything here. How about you?
I'm listening. Okay, he wants to get to the colony of Port Royal again in 13 days. Yeah, we can do that. We can arrange that. So with this we can earn a bit of money. Give it a save. Can we? Character, passengers, there he is. Monsieur Arsène Defrant. Let's go. Yeah, running reach is also not the best point of sailing of this ship. So let's go for broad reach as far as we can. Keep it clear of that coast. By the way, who are these guys? Okay, French lugger. It's French, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. I think it was a good choice to go to this dynamic setting. Interesting prey, yes, but at the moment I would not become a pirate. I think I would get into deep shit if I would now start to attack French ships. I think I'm still in this state where I should earn money with serious jobs. Now get to the map. So it's west, it's a bit more northerly than west to get to Port Royal again. Up to now we were unmolested by pirates, luckily. Let's hope that it keeps like that. Yeah, we have a crew of 15. Experience gained again. Let's reduce the time acceleration and get there. Yeah, change course, which is pretty good. Yeah, the wind is pretty favorable for us now. Getting to the port gives us to beam reach. Yeah, I have to get a little bit more close hold, which means that I am reducing speed. Just get close enough to the port to moor. Yep. Yeah, we have a small merchant ship with a small crew, so any things that would get you into a fight would be actually a problem. Let's moor. And there we are.
I'm happy with everything here. How about you?
This journey on your ship was quite satisfying. Yes, I love to take your money. Thank you very much. So, 10,000 pesos. Nice. Let me be AFK for 1 minute. Okay, now that was about getting people from A to B. The question is if I could now get some information about the prices. Cash book, store book. So here I have information about Saint-Pierre, but I should also have information. Okay, maybe I should have visited the trader. So here I am at Port Royal. Let's see.
Come on, don't irritate me.
There's the stores. Let's take a look at the stores.
My store is at your service.
Show me your wares. He doesn't have any gunpowder, obviously. So do we have that in the log by now? Port Royal and Saint-Pierre. So no, is there anything that we could buy at Saint-Pierre and sell? No, other way around, right? At the moment we are at Port Royal. I'd go for Saint-Pierre. So what would give us good prices? Gunpowder 257. Medicine 272. $398. Wine is $398. And rum is 131. So if you ask me, wine would be good. Wine would be a good deal. Does this really work? Yeah, let's stay safe and save the game here and see.
My store is at your service.
Two, 4, 6 for the wine. And I could sell it. Hey, come on now. Saint-Pierre. Hey. Oh, yes, okay. Five, 6, 5. Yeah, okay. Should be all right. Get that stuff here. Get some wine. Let's see how much I can afford. $10. Okay, got that wine. Now, I'm curious if this is gonna make us any profit.
People like me are what hold this town together. Remember that.
Bastarre. Let's see, where do we have Bastarre? Maybe I can pick this guy up and drop him as Bastarre. Yeah. Happiness of customers, yep. Let me just check on my offline map. Where do we have Bastarre? This is Saint-Pierre. That's on Guadeloupe. Yeah, that should be well possible. Within 14 days, yeah, I think I can do that. Yeah, come on. So let's first go to Saint-Pierre and then get this guy to Bastarre. Port Royal, Saint-Pierre, just a little bit more southerly. Yeah, it can be done, I think, yep. And if not, I'm still in this mood that I'm exploring this game for the very first time, so if I would really fuck it up, I would just reload. I pretty much love that game. So just slightly south, but mainly east. How beautiful that is. How beautiful they implement that. That's such a great game. I just make sure that we don't get into these clouds. There might be storms damaging the rig. Another French ship. Perfectly fine. No, it's Dutch. It's a Dutch ship, but we are fine with the Dutch, obviously. there we are, ready to moor. Can I sell my stuff at night? That's the bank. Where did I find the trader? It's closed, so I have to go to the pub and take a bed until tomorrow morning. Go for the tavern. What time is it? 11 p.m.
Succulent food, refreshing beverages, and cozy bed at your service.
Until the morning. 5 pieces. Yep, alright, here we are. Let's get for the trader and sell the stuff and hope that it works like that.
Whether you're a peasant, an artisan, or a nobleman, anyone can find a product that suits their taste.
So where do we have the wine? Ah, come on. That's a loss. We can't. Nah, okay. That didn't work. Yeah, Nico. It didn't work. The price has dropped. So where do we have the wine? Prices change. Prices change. The purchase price has been dropping a lot. Oh no, yeah. Okay. So it looks like trading is always a gamble. That didn't quite work out. That was actually slaves, yep. In the West Indies you should do in slaves, yep. So that didn't work out. So looks like the prices are pretty volatile. Yeah, somehow. Problem is that the selling prices obviously dropped considerably since I was at that port. So I bought the wine thinking that I could sell it at a high price, and when I went there, I recognized that the prices had dropped considerably. And there we go. Straight north to Guadeloupe. Basse-Terre, at least. There I'm hopefully gonna get my money. Pirate.
People like me are what hold this town together.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Thank you very much. Unknown, honest captain. Yeah, alright. The bank. Don't want the bank, I need the trader. What about you
Land
guys?
has become very valuable in our day and age.
St. John on Antigua. Okay, just for 1,000 pesos. That's not much. Yeah, it's not too far away. Makes sense.
Nadar, come a little closer.
Can you tell me my fortune? Yeah, it's just 1,000 pesos, so that's not too much of an earning, but yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I'm really considering to do it this a little bit more in the future. Pretty much love that game. Of course, it depends a bit. Right now it's, yeah, 5, 6 people watching. So not quite the feedback that I'm used to from U-Boat. But I would pretty much like to do this a little bit more. There we go. St. John's.
Land has become very valuable
Yeah.
in our day and
Thank
age.
you very much.
Come on, don't irritate me.
Let's go for the store.
I've got the best products around.
So let's see if I find a guy who wants to be transferred to somewhere. Yeah, I'm gonna be live tomorrow, definitely. So, have a good night, Nico. Great to have had you in, and looking forward to see you tomorrow. Definitely gonna stream tomorrow.
I'm happy with everything here. How about you?
Capsterville. St. Christopher. Let's see. It's just north, west, perfectly fine. Hey guy, I would have taken you aboard.
Land has become very valuable in our day and age.
Oh shit. Pressed the wrong button. Yeah, it would have been fine to transport that guy. So, could I reload it? And see what we can do, if we could still satisfy that guy.
People like me are what hold this town together. Remember that.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. That's the money that we got from that
Ensuring
guy.
the safety of the town is a serious task.
Hold up, Captain. Where were you rushing off to?
What about you, guy?
There are almost no true noble left anymore. Is there something you need? No? Then I'll be on my way.
What about you, guy?
We got into such a terrible storm the other day.
Okay, I did hire these guys.
Ah, at last, a worthy colloquist.
Alright, guys, allow me to be AFK. Just need a slice of bread or some little snack.
I've got the best products around.
Now let's see and compare. Paprika at 65. Sling price. So we did earn a bit of money, and yeah, looking at the time, I think I'm gonna call it a day. 1:30. Let's get to bed early tonight. Yeah, however, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna continue it. This game is so great, so lovely. So thanks for joining, Nico. I think you just went to bed. Weight loss. I don't know if you're still there. If you are, thanks for your participation and have a good night. So guys, see you tomorrow. Bye bye.